Hey, what's up, YouTubers? True Setting You Free here, just playing some Chell 2010. I had a buddy back in college. Used to call it Chell, NHL. Chell. Let's go play some Chell. Anyway, it's a decent game. It's pretty fun. It's a review on it on PlayStationUniversity.com by the Dean. You can go check that out. But just a quick response to MLD here. The dude counters himself. I don't know if he doesn't retain what he said in other videos or what, but he's basically said in a matter of the past couple videos where he's referred to Gran Turismo that it's not only going to get a good score, but it's going to sell well. So he's already kind of admitted that Forza 3 is going to lose to Gran Turismo 5 in both of those regards. He admits to them waiting to polish it up more, which I don't see how that's a fault of Gran Turismo. A lot of times, some of the decisions on release dates are made up based off of strategy, not necessarily from the competitors, but from your own console. You got Uncharted 2 coming out. It's a big game coming out Christmas time or what have you, so they're trying to get that to sell real well. But anyway, no date was ever set for Gran Turismo 5. He wants to act like there was. If people wanted to believe that it was coming out in 2009, and they didn't, and now they're not, that's one thing. But he's acting like they set a date and they've delayed it, which is still not a very good point because other games have been delayed on every single console. It's very common for games to get delays for various reasons. Anyway, did I just say that? I don't know. Also, what does he talk about? He talks about the PSP version again. Great. It didn't get that greatest score, and they should have done better in it. I can concede that. That's fine. But that still doesn't tie anything to how Polyphony Digital is going to be working with Gran Turismo 5. They missed those features on the PSP version, but as I said, that's still probably the best racing game ever on a handheld. So I'm not really sure what your point is on knocking it in the first place. What else? He starts talking about, I ripped on Halo 3 ODST. Oh, let me backtrack. Talking about Prologue, Gran Turismo Prologue. He keeps calling it a demo. Call it whatever you wish. The whole point I was making is that you don't think it's a full game, yet you're a big salesperson, and you basically try to use sales as saying what's better than another, and that demo, as you call it, Prologue, sold better than your great Forza 2. And yeah, Forza 3 is built on a new engine. Okay, so you're right on that point, but you're missing the other part of the whole point of even bringing up the engine thing is the difficulty in creating an engine. And you can also then look at the platforms and the difficulty between the two. You have Xbox 360 that has PC architecture. This means any developers that are very familiar with making games on a PC will be able to easily make the jump over to Xbox 360. Now look at how many devs are out in the world that have PC knowledge. We're talking thousands. We're talking a lot of devs that have that knowledge. Therefore, there's a lot of devs that have Xbox 360 engine creating knowledge or developing knowledge. So when you couple that when you put all that together, you basically see that the devs can talk to each other, and it's pretty easy for someone to make an engine on the Xbox 360. So yeah, they started with a new engine on Forza 2, and they made an improved engine on Forza 3, but they still had that original engine to build off of, where Polyphony Digital has not. This is their first major engine on the PS3, which also has more difficult architecture to develop on. And the whole point, the whole thing about the PS3 is you can knock that architecture for its difficulty, but we all know what the end product is. When somebody knows what they're doing with that engine, it's unbelievable what we're seeing on the PS3 in regards to Uncharted 2, Metal Gear Solid 4, it's going to be Gran Turismo, we're seeing MAG now, all that kind of stuff. So, anyway, on to ODST. I said it was DLC, cracking on it, because it basically is just an expansion pack. It's something they could have offered in DLC. He talks about the 6-hour campaign in it, and I'm willing to bet that's somebody playing it, fairly seriously, not trying to hurry through it. But then he goes ahead and starts comparing it to other games because it has a multiplayer. Starts comparing it to games without multiplayers on the PS3, saying you get more gameplay time with Halo 3 ODST, even though it's an expansion pack, than you do with Heavenly Sword or Infamous. And when he quotes the play numbers on those games, he quotes the hours it takes if you rush through the game. And he doesn't even think about the whole case in Infamous, where nearly everybody that plays it on evil or good wants to play it a second time on the other side. And so any time you want to quote on that, it's usually double the time you're hearing on it. But the whole point is, it's very weak to say it like that, to say that the gameplay time equals how great the game is in comparison to another. Especially when you look at a game like Madden or any of these sports games where there's no end. It's an endless process. You can just keep playing, and say you're building a franchise, and you say that's the main goal of the game. Well, the franchise never ends. You can keep playing it. So we're talking, what, 1,000 hours, 2,000 hours for somebody who's really into that game and could play it for a year or two? I mean, like, come on. It's a joke. That's the biggest lame joke I've ever heard. You got a multiplayer component. That's the only thing that extends the life in it. And that doesn't make it good. I mean, yeah, if you didn't buy those map packs before, great. But how many big Halo 3 fans, which is the people that are buying ODST for the bulk, the majority of them, how many of them didn't already buy those map packs? I mean, seriously, think about that. You're telling me they're getting them now if they didn't have them before, but how many people are we talking about? Anyway, on a side note about the Trey onTrey stuff, one, my thing with GTA, I don't really call it Trey onTrey, it's me versus dipshit. And a lot of people are like, why do you let it bother you? I let it bother me because YouTube is a representation of our society, no? It's actually a good representation of how people think when they're not, what people think and not what they say normally out in the world. Because they know if they say these things out and somebody face to face, it's a whole different story. So we see the underbelly of America or other countries here on YouTube. And I think it's bullshit when I see people like GTA rolling around making the comments he does. Because he's doing that shit out in the real world as well. He made a video he's taken down where he said he has gay family members and that he loves them. What I find is fucking funny about that is, one, that's the reason why I defend gay people being called faggots and sucking dick and making this big negative connotation on being gay. Because I also have a family member I love, and he has to go out in the world and deal with dipshits like that. If the dude showed his family members that are gay the stuff he has said, especially to that little kid, you think they'd be cool with that? Fuck no. Fuck no. Anyway, I don't have, and just to let it be known, I don't have any problem with somebody saying something's gay. That's a whole different deal, and most homosexuals don't have an issue with that term, depending on how it's used. But the faggot stuff and constantly telling people they suck dick and all this is just insane. Anyway, also on the whole thing with the other guys, 7th and Dumars and all that, I can see some good points on both sides. So, kind of stinks to have somebody buy an Xbox 360 just to add another number to the sales, but at the same time it does demonstrate, as he's shown already, that the red ring of death does strike no matter what chipset you got. So I can see both sides. It sucks they're battling back and forth, but whatever, they'll hash it out. Alright, just checking in. Peace. See you guys later.